Welcome to the Crochet Crowd as well as my friends at yarnspirations.com. We're going to do the waffle stitch crochet hat today using Red Heart Super Saver yarn. There are two different colors that we're using. Iran is one and color B is Gray Heather. Now you should know that when you see this, this here is the first 4 inches and then the rest of it starts to come in. So once we understand what the repeat pattern is, you're going to be able to bang that out pretty quickly. So here is my sample that I'm working on. I'm going to do 2 hats, one for Daniel, one for I. You need a 4.5 millimeter size US 7, but because I know that I'm a loose crocheter, I've gone down to an F, a 4 millimeter, and this fits me like as snug as a bug. So without further ado, we're going to get started right away, and I'm going to make Daniel's blue and mine gray. Hi, I'm Mikey from the Crochet Crowd, and thank you so much for joining our channel today. I'm here to inspire you and create magic with your crochet hook. Are you ready to play?
Oh yeah, sounds good.
Just to recap on how to open an Oko, just put your hands in behind and close the window here, and then just fold it back. And just release your Oko from there and recycle your cardboard, and then pull here, and it shows the plastic that is holding it together. If they don't do that, people would separate this in the stores and then it would be a mess. So once you have that separated, you're just going to get the one that has the knot on it, or the tie, as you see, and then just pull that out and it's good to go. Today is my second attempt to ever do vertical filming. So what this means is that it's in the vertical a long ways. So it will be in YouTube on the sideways, but then I can use the video. So just bear with me. I've done this a few years ago. People kind of kicked back and said no, but it's now 2022 and it's getting more and more common to see vertical format. So I'm making the adult size because I might as well make it for myself. So it's small, medium, and large. So you'll notice that it's 1 ball of each, but if you just want to do 1 hat, you can just use 1 ball and without changing color. So we have the 2 to 4 years of age, 6 to 10, and large adult. I'm going to be doing the adult as I mentioned, and here's the circumference just in case you don't know what that is. So when we have information on the pattern, when there's changes, for example, when we go and look, and let's bring you nice and close here. And what we have here, it says chain 56, 64, 72. Which one are you going to do? You're going to do the one that matches the size. So it's either small, medium, or large, and you're just going to concentrate on the number. So whenever a decision is made and that there's a change, so you'll notice that 2 through 4, there's no difference because the pattern is just going to be the same. It's just our starting is going to be different. So let's work on this, and let's begin and start our beginning. So let's begin. You can either chain 56 with the small, medium is 64, or adult is 72. So I'll do 72. So just chain the number that you want. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Stop at the 10th one and just pull the hook off and go into the beginning chain and put the hook in the beginning chain. I know it's darker yarn, but we'll have to bear with me. I'll try to explain it as best I can, and put it onto the hook and ignore that it's there. I want you then continue to count to the number that you need. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, and go all the way to the number, and I'll be right back in a moment. Once you have the number, I have 72. You could have 56 or 64. Just yarn over and pull through that first one and this one to close the ring. And because you put it onto the hook as I showed you, this chain will not be twisted. So you'll be ready then for round number 1. So we're in this pattern. Chain 2 never counts as a stitch, so you got to make sure that when you start with round number 1, it says chain 1. That is not the first chain that you're going to be doing, and so you have to make sure that the one that you're attaching to is the first up. I recommend that you go on the back hump of the chain itself. Once you get the first one, the chain will stay turned upside down, and just half double crochet yourself all the way around the chain. I know it's harder to see with darker yarn, but just bear with me. So you're just going to half double crochet in each of the stitches all the way around. You should have the same number that you chained when you went all the way around. So if you had 72, you'll have 72 half double crochets, and etc. So please go all the way around and half double crochet on the back hump of the chain. So I'm coming all the way around. I have just counted to make sure that I have 72. You could have 56 or 64. Remember that that chain 2 that you started with is not a stitch, so make sure you don't include that as your count. So I do have 72. Before I join it, I want to make sure that this will sit flat so that there is no weird twist to it. And I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of the first half double crochet, so ignore that chain 2. It does not exist. And you're gonna slip stitch and verify by pulling it open like this to make sure that there is no twisting. And we're going to proceed now to officially round number 2. In round number 2 we're going to start the texture. We're going to chain 2 that does not count as a stitch, and you're going to go into the half double crochet that's directly below, and you're going to make that as a front post double crochet. So just wrap the hook going into the post and out. Okay, so you're not going into the top of the stitch, and just pull through 2 and 2. So that's a front post. The next 3 are going to be a back post double crochet. So wrap the hook and come from the back. My thumb is covering, but just come in behind the next post and then pop it back out to pull that post back. Yarn over, pull through 2 and 2. We have other videos specifically here on YouTube for just techniques like that. So just yarn over and do the next one. It's a back post double crochet, and then the next one. Keep in mind that until I tell you otherwise, that there will always be 3 back post double crochets in a row. The next one around the next post is a front post double crochet, and therefore you can see 1 waffle square. Okay, so then the next 3 are in the back post. And then what is the next one gonna be? Did you say front post double crochet? That's right. So just go into the front post. So I want you to alternate between that and go all the way around, and the last 3 stitches that are left in this, they will be in the back post double crochet because you started with the front post double crochet when you started this round. Continue that, and I'll see you at the end of number 2 in just a moment. So just coming around to the last 3 stitches, they are back post double crochet, and you may think that it may be small, but remember that this kind of concept has stretching power because you're using front and back posts. It's very much like ribbing. So if you think it's too small, just try it on your head if it's for you, and you can see that how it will fit. So just attach it to the beginning, a front post double crochet with a slip stitch. Try it on your head and see what you think, and we're going to continue then into round number 3 and 4, which will be the repeat for a while. So rounds number 3 and 4 are going to be repeated until you get a total of 4 inches. So this is what we're looking for. So we're right here. So once we get that done, then you're ready to shape the top. So let's begin round number 3. Round number 3, whenever you have it, you're going to chain 2. Does that count as a stitch? No, it does not. You want to keep the ribbing going, so you want to keep the front post double crochet going, but in round number 3, whenever you hit it, the next 3, they're just gonna be half double crochets in the top of the stitch. So you don't have to worry about the back post when you have round number 3. So the 3 of those are just half double crochet. Then you see the front post here, so you want to keep that as a front post. So the next 3 are going to be half double crochet, and then you see the front post here, keep it as a front post with a double crochet. Do that all the way around for number 3. When you come around to number 3, the last 3 are half double crochets, and you're just going to slip stitch it to the top of the first front post double. So let's begin number 4. Let's begin number 4. You're going to chain up a total of 2. Does that count as a stitch? No. So you're going to make the first one. You see it's a front post double. We're going to keep it as a front post double, and then we are in, whenever you have round number 4, the next 3, those half double crochets are now going to turn into back post double crochets once again, and then this will create another block that you'll see in the waffle. So these 3 are now back post double crochets. Like that. This is a front post double. So make it a front post double. The next 3 are back post double crochet, and etc. So do this all the way around, and then when I get around I'll talk to you about the repeating, and the repeat will take you to where the color change is on the hat. You can decide to do what you want to do. I'm thinking maybe the gray to switch to the blue and the blue to switch to gray, because I'm doing the 2 hats for Daniel and I at the same time. So do this, and I'll see you at the end of number 4 in a moment. So the last 3 stitches are back post double crochet, and then you join to the top of the first double crochet in the front post. So now all I need you to do is to repeat rounds number 3 and 4 until you get 4 inches, and I am going to change the colors. So this one I'm gonna change to blue at the top part, and then this one I'll change to the gray, and I will continue with the gray, then it'll be easier to see the stitches for sure. So please now repeat rounds number 3 and 4 until you get 4 inches done, and then I'll be right back in a few moments from now, and we will I will show you how to change the color, and we'll be getting through that process next. So for both of them I have them at the 4-inch approximate mark. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to switch the colors, so then the top of this hat will be blue and the top of the other hat will be gray. Cut the yarn, and I'll just show it to you one time only, and you want to just pull it through. I want you to grab a tapestry needle, and I want you to turn it to the inside of the project. Any loose ends that you will have, including the brim that you started with, I'd recommend doing this. So just go down the stitch work. Okay, don't allow the needle to go to the other side, and just go down, and when you pull on it, don't change the shape of your project. Just keep it taut, but not to the point where it's ruining the look. When you go through, I recommend that you separate plies, not just the strands itself, but separate the plies, and it will get stuck even better, and any loose ends that you will have that you will want to do this. So I'm making both hats at the same time as I mentioned, so I'm going to do that for both of these, and I'll be right back in a second. So let's start new yarn and straight with a slip knot on the hook, and I am switching this to the color gray, and I'll continue with this sample, and I'll do the other sample at the same time. So what I need you to do is that we're going to start off by just attaching it to the top of the first double crochet in the front post, and that's just after the slip stitching. Now chain 2, and in the same front post double crochet you want to repeat rounds number 3 and 4. So just do a front post double crochet in the first one, and in number 3, do you recall, it's just doing half double crochets, right? So you're just changing the color, but you're still continuing the stitch work. And then the next one is a front post double crochet. So please repeat now rounds number 3 and 4. Now for the small size of the child of the 2 to 4 years of age, you want to go so that it's a maximum of 5 inches, so you don't have a lot more to do. For then the medium size of the older child of 8 to 10 years, you only need 6 inches. And then for us adults, we need 6.5 inches. So please continue to repeat rounds number 3 and 4 until you get to the dimension that you need, and then I'm gonna be picking you up, and then we're gonna finish the top together, and we'll have doing this going forward. So I'll be using gray just so it's easier to see that, and I will see you back here in just a few minutes. So finish to the size that you need, and I'll be right back. So with the miracle, the power of editing, I got one done. I had a medical appointment in the meantime during filming, so I took a break, and I took this one here, and I finished all the top piece at the office. So what I have here is that it's completely done, and now I'm going to take you through that. I've also been through the pattern once, so it'll be a lot easier for me to teach. You should know that the sizing that I have here is just slightly smaller than what's recommended in the pattern. You'll notice that it looks like equal bands, and that's something that I decided for myself to make it work for me. So you have to decide what's going to work for you. So when you go to measure this out, in my particular sample, it is 6.5 inches, but you will notice that when I started this here, I wasn't all the way at 4 inches when I had it. I was 3.5, and then when I did this one here, it's 3. So it's a total of 6.5. So now I'm going to beginning to shape the top. Let me take you to the pattern and show you something that I did notice when I was at the office, and it'll be helpful for you to know as well. You will notice in the instructions that it has the increments of the writing. That's just the number of stitches in the round, but all of the instructions for shaping the top all the way through 1 through 7 is the same information for everybody. There's just a different stitch count at the end of each round, which is no big deal. So the amount of steps that we need to do is just, if it's a smaller hat, then you just have to less repeats really. So let's begin shaping the top, and we're gonna begin the first round. Let's begin our first round. We're gonna start our first decrease, and we're gonna start by chaining 2. Does not count as anything, right? And we're going to then come back down and do our front post double crochet. Now we're in the round, we finished on a 4th, so we're in the round where we're just doing half double crochets, but they're not normal. The first one is gonna be a normal one, so a half double crochet in the next stitch. But the next one we have to put 2 together. So to do that, you're gonna wrap the hook and going into the next stitch, pull through, wrap the hook, going into the next stitch, pull through, and then you have a total of 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 5. That was a 2 together half double crochet. So let's begin our repeat then for the remaining of the round. The next one, see it's a front post, keep it as a front post double crochet. The first one after that one is 1 half double crochet by itself, and then the remaining 2 that are left, you're gonna make those as a 2 together for half double crochet, and then keep repeating that. So it's a front post double, 1 half is in the next, and then the next 2 are together. Please do that all the way around. This is the first round of shaping the top of the hat. When you get back around, the last one is a 2 together half double crochet. Just join it to the top of the first double crochet front post. Let's move on to round number 2. In round number 2, we're going to be using the back post double crochets again. So let's begin. We're going to chain up 2 and make the first one as a front post double crochet. Then see these 2, it's 1 and then this is 2 together. They're considered just 2 stitches. Make each one of them as a back post double crochet. There's no decreasing on this stitch, we're just giving it more time to flex in. So there's only going to be 2 double crochet back posts between each one of these front posts double crochet. So just make it a front post in the next one, and then the next 2 are back posts, and repeat that around for round number 2. The last one on the second round is a back post double crochet, the last 2 are, and then just slip stitch it to the top of the first double crochet front post. Let's begin number 3. Number 3, we're going to chain 2, does not count, and do a front post double crochet in the first one, and then the next 2 you're going to make them as a half double crochet 2 together. So just put them together with that stitch, and then just jump to the next one, front post double crochet, and then put the next 2 together. And I need you to do that all the way around. This is round number 3. Coming around on number 3, putting the last 2 together, and then just slip stitch it to the top of the first chain 3. Let's move on to round number 4. Number 4, we're back to the back post double crochets again. You're gonna chain up 3 and put the first one as a front post double crochet, and then the one that is the 2 together half double crochet from before, that just becomes 1 back post double crochet. Okay, so the next one is a front post double crochet, and then the next stitch here, which is the together stitch, becomes a back post double crochet. Please do this around round number 4. The end of number 4, you're just going to make it as a back post double crochet because it's the last stitch that's available to you, and then just join to the top of the first chain 3, and let's move on to round number 5. Round number 5, chain up 2, doesn't count, and you're only focused on the front post double crochets, so just make them as a front post double crochet, and then jump to the next front post double crochet and make that as a front post double crochet, and keep on doing that all the way around for round number 5. Once you've done the last front post double crochet, just attach it to the first front post double crochet, and let's move on to the 6th round. Round number 6, you're just going to chain up 2, doesn't count, and in the same one that you have the adjoining with, I need you to just apply 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. So please do that for number 6. I'll be right back. Once you've done the last half double crochet, you're just going to join it to the first one. Okay, pull things nice and tight, and let's begin our final round, and it's almost closed at the top. So let's do number 7 next. Okay, number 7, you're going to chain up 2, and then you're just gonna put the stitches 2 together. So the next 2, just put them together as 1, and you keep doing that all the way around. Okay, so those 2 are together, so look at the next 2 and put those 2 together, and etc. And I need you to do this all the way around for round number 7. So I'm coming around, and I'm just going to slip stitch it to the top of the first half double crochet. You're going to notice that there's a small hole left, so because this is the end, I want us to trim the yarn long enough that you can put it through a tapestry needle, pull it through the loop. Now grab that tapestry needle that you have, and I want you to gather the remaining of the opening stitches left. Okay, it's just small, and just gather by going around. You can also go straight across if you want to and just kind of pull it, but I like to pull it so it's equally shut on all sides. So I just follow it around and I pull. Now that it's been pulled, I go opposite, and then I'm just gonna go opposite this way. So I'm making a cross formation across the top of the hat. Once I'm satisfied with that, put your hand on the inside. If you're using a sharp tapestry needle, just be careful, and then just go down through the top of the hat to the interior and pull the hat to the inside, or inside out, and then just weave it through. Don't go all the way through the fibers, just stay on the back of the hat and just tie it into a knot. So it's the inside of the hat, so you don't have to worry about hiding the loose ends so much, but a good practice is just to go back and forth a total of 3 times and get it done. So if you're just gonna spend a few more extra seconds, then just do that, and then especially if you're giving it for charity, finish it all the way. Now you have to decide if you're gonna do a pom-pom. We have tutorials available on making pom-poms. The instructions also include that information on there that you'll see on how to make one by hand. You can do that. You can leave it as is, make it into a beanie. I'm very much of a pom-pom person, so I am just going to get my pom-pom ready. So I'm gonna give the pom-pom a bit of a shake before I start playing with it, just to kind of fluff it out. Where the tag is hanging in this particular type of pom-pom, I'm just gonna safely cut it out. Okay. And what I like to do with this, and this is machine washable, this particular one, so you can actually leave it on permanently. So I'm just taking the loop, it is stretchy, and I'm just gonna equally divide it in half and just cut. Now I want to take those pieces here, and with my crochet hook I need to go through 2 separate areas on the top of the hat. So with the inside, so just 2 separate areas across the top. Now because the strands are so short, I want to make sure that I don't have to pull them any longer. So I'm just pulling those stragglers to the inside, or those tails to the inside, and letting it rest. And then I choose a different spot for the next one to pull out and pull through. And carefully I want to open the top of the hat, and hopefully I can see them, which I can. So I'm now going to just tie this into a knot. If you prefer, it's harder to do with this, so I don't recommend it, but you can just tie it into a bow tie so you can remove it later, but you may want to use a separate strand to sew that on there onto the pom-pom if you wish, but because I know it's machine washable, I'm going to tie this into a full knot and be done with it. Okay, and therefore you have this all in there, and the hat is good to go. Wrap it on up and make it a great gift, or even wear it for yourself or your family. And this is available in all the different sizes that we talked about. And this is the Waffle Stitch Crochet Hat by yarnspirations.com. See ya and have a good one.